is his technique. You can see he's already looking up as he wants to hit that board in. His head goes up before he makes contact with the ball.
There's Sivarak, who's had to come in for Chap-Chai, who sustained an injury in that second leg. He filled in very, very well. Elias Dollar gets the header first. Delightful ball from Chanatip. Here's Balding, he's looking for some support. Excellent work.
Ini enak dah. Nggak masuk.
Gordon Pala on the free kick again here. Gordon, ball does its job. Here's Chanatip. Look at the touch. I think he would have wanted there. Titipan. Indonesia try to break forward. Witan Sulaiman, lovely touch from him. Slips that into Irfan. It bobbles around. They're asking for the penalty. Some of them, the referee points the other way. That has been the best attack so far.
Yeah, look at the player who's made that challenge. It's Chanatip. He's covered so much ground to get himself back there. And that's been one of the impressive things about Chanatip in this campaign, is his willingness to track back and help out defensively. It all started, I think we can see quite clearly that it's a foul to Thailand. Chanatip just gets across, he does well, uses his body well, and then gets a kick from Irfan. Here's another close-up for you. Goes right through the back of Chanatip's leg there.
It's a lot of ground, isn't it? He's covered there, tracking back.
A wonderful move from Indonesia, though. It all started from Ricky Kambuaya, who beat a couple of Thai players. Played a lovely ball forward for Witan Sulaiman. That first touch from Witan was excellent because it continued the momentum of the move. Allowed him to play that attempted pass in behind.
Rolla. Back to Elias Dollar. Here's Kritsada.
I think first time we've seen Kambuaya really get on the ball.
But
It was just then.
We've said his name.
That's right. Not his fault, of course. It's been difficult for Indonesia to get anything done in possession.
What a touch that is from Superchop to Rolla, who's steaming into the penalty area. Laid back for Chanatip. Superchop. Now Wiratep taking a heavy touch. And perhaps here Indonesia can break again. Taken too long on the ball. Asnawi. There was space in midfield, wasn't there? Gordon. Straight to the keeper, that was offside.
So high is because of Hassan Sani. And I was thinking about Thailand, and you mentioned Thailand.
Yeah.
Second one?
Aku jatuh guys.
Correct. So he's bringing the average up. Flag has stayed down for Didik. That's the first Indonesian corner. So he's just having a chat here with Asnawi Shintae-yong. I think he's just trying to organise that defence, isn't he?
Just trying to make sure that they're shifting together as it.
Ya Allah. Please deh. Gelisah.
dalam leg 1 melawan Singapura. Tapi sekali lagi memang ini menjadi sebuah diskusi yang menarik.
Bagus sepatu bolanya.
Adanya VAR yang harus diberikan di
Ya, gerakan apapun yang membahayakan atau melanggar peraturan selemah apapun jika dinilai itu sebuah pelanggaran itu saja.
Buset, itu namanya gila anjir. Itu namanya sudah gaban.
Terjadi di kotak penalti, tentu Indonesia harus hati-hati dengan gerakan-gerakan yang menimbulkan aktivitas dari wasit untuk dinyatakan sebagai sebuah pelanggaran. Kita
Ini pasti ini bikin kayak
langsung
gini,
ke depan,
terus kayak gini.
arahkan pada Poklau sebagai bek kanan Poklau.
Tidak betul soal. Muncul sekarang apa nanti?
Dicegah tadi kita oleh Pak Udin.
Ya Allah. 10 aja 10.
Sangat baik.
Tidak betul soal tiga orang.
Indonesia terhadap Bodin.
Nih makan dulu. Makan makanya makan dulu. Irianto.
Protes tadi
Lagi
dilakukan oleh
disuruh
Pak
tanding,
Irianto,
bukan makan
tapi
dulu.
wasit asal Saudi Al-Humfu Sukri Al-Usai.
Bola pada bahasa Inggris. Ngomong sama wasitnya kan ngomong bahasa Inggris. Aduh. Ini nggak sengaja itu, nggak sengaja. Awas.
Pak Irianto untuk
Tapi itu udah kecelakaan. Iya, kan gak ada yang tahu. Asnawi sholat mulu dah. Capek dia.
sangat tinggi untuk ukuran pemain.
Mana Arhan sama Elkan? Iya, makanya. Belum berarti.
Perhatikan posisi dari
Leg 2 kayaknya.
Sadakama.
Tapi kan
Biasa kita lihat tadi Pak Udin.
bagian blok kanan ya.
Gagal.
Biasanya kalau orang yang menyerang itu terakhir.
Sudah kehilangan bola pemain
Iya,
Indonesia.
pemain yang jadi dia
Baik.
nggak terlalu capek dia. Dia biar capek dulu dibikin capek. Iya. Bilangnya tahunnya Thailand lebih jago lagi. Ampun.
Enggak, kayaknya karena apa si Arkan dapat kuning makanya jelek kedua.
Emang kalau kartu kuning tuh gak apa gak?
Pelanggaran. Pelanggaran.
Kenapa? Ini ngikut gitu. Iya, kayak parah gitu. Kecelakaan paling parah gitu. Kalau sampai cedera banget baru akan ke merah.
Baru kuning, hati-hati.
Iya. Hati-hati baru ter-upgrade. Jangan sampai lah ya.
Berhati-hati.
Ya Allah, kenapa sih begini mulu? Berak. Udah, kualitasnya rendah sih.
Di sini bisa kan?
Apa?
Mampet gak?
Enggak ya.
Para pemain Indonesia. Oh, enak sangat baik dari Karasio. Belakang Rizky Ridho tadi, 4 ke depan. Balik kehilangan bola pemain Indonesia Tristanto. Sokrasin ada Pordin Pala, pemain Thailand kuasai bola. Ke depan langsung kepada Sokrasin. Lebih dekat dengan kita lihat Pak Udin. Nilai yang sangat baik dilakukan oleh Pak Udin memberikan Sokrasin tadi untuk meraih bola yang dikawal dengan sangat ketat oleh Pak Udin. Wahyudi Arianto, Bung Doni.
Ya, sudah sedikit mereda tentunya mengingat ini sudah memasuki menit-menit dari babak pertama. Thailand tetap mendominasi possession, tetap lebih berani dalam melakukan tekanan-tekanan ke lini pertahanan Indonesia. Tapi memang terlihat mereka sudah mulai sedikit lelah. Dan lagi-lagi ini adalah menit-menit tersisa yang sering sekali tidak terjadi drama. Dan kita berharap di 3 menit
Kuning dong.
coach masih bisa menciptakan peluang.
Pelanggaran Tristanto terhadap Witan Sulaiman tadi. Kasak paha kanan dari Witan Tristanto.
Kalau kalah jangan dihujat ya warga Indonesia.
Dewangga. Sangat baik Dewangga terhadap Bodin. Masih Dewangga.
Pipinya.
Pium. Pium.
Keuangan. Apa sih pipinya kenapa teh?
Nggak tahu, aku juga tuh.
Capek. Itu capek. Elkan main. Main banget kan? Keren. Gak kelihatan mukanya Elkan nih.
Nggak bisa.
Oh, itu lagi. Tadi dong.
Welcome back to the National Stadium here in Singapore. It's the AFF Suzuki Cup 2020 first leg final where Indonesia have been outplayed by the Thais. Chanatik Songkrasin has got the opening goal. Very well run, biggest goal ever in a AFF Suzuki Cup final, and the reaction is to bring on 3 players. Evan Dimas, Elkan Baggett and Kadek Agung are the 3 to come on.
Pantesan dia bisa nyundur dong.
A change in the way they set themselves up. We'll see very shortly indeed. But Russian, something had to be modified because they were getting outplayed on all parts of the park, weren't they?
Yes, that's what they had to do. They had to react at halftime, and that's what they did. And that's what they've done, sorry. They made those changes. So let's see how it affects the overall shape of this Indonesian team. It looks like at the moment it's just going to be perhaps just like for like. Elkan Baggett still going into central defense. Still with that 4-man back line.
It appeared, Roshan, that they were struggling. Fakhruddin was struggling, wasn't he, with the pace. 32-year-old veteran defender they seemed to be struggling with the pace, particularly of Bodin Pala on that left-hand side for Thailand.
I mean, if that was the case, it's an interesting one because I don't think Elkan Baggett is that pacey as well. So you've now got 2 young central defenders in there, Rizky and Elkan Baggett. You've taken out experience in Fakhruddin. You've added a bit more experience in midfield in Evan Dimas.
Might see a bit more of Alfredo Devanga perhaps, just hanging back. We'll see. Forward by Asnawi. It looks like they are certainly trying to be a bit more aggressive if they can. Shot off the ball far too easily. Elkan Baggett came in from Ipswich under 23s, another one they're pinning a lot of hopes on. Very eventful Suzuki Cup. Resisted attempts at first to play for Indonesia. They flew in for this tournament and played 1 match, then got quarantined and then scored a goal on his return against Malaysia.
It's quite interesting the way he's been used by Indonesia, isn't it? I mean, it's almost like he's always coming on at half-time. Oh, just see Witan. Maybe knocked to the back. What they needed to adjust was the left back position as Alfeandra. have dropped into their part of the pitch.
Here's Tirison Dunga, plenty of Thai attackers. Look at that overlapping run on the left-hand side. And just a little bit too much on the ball there. Koklo Anand.
Swift counter from Thailand there. You get the players pouring forward. With a high starting position there for Thailand again. Applying their pressure on the short goal kicks out.
Fakhruddin Arianto replaced by Elkan Baggett. Edo Fabriansha, the left back, of course, he came in today for the suspended Pratama Arhan, and had quite a tough task on his hands, keeping Supachok and Roller quiet. He has to go as well. Replaced by Evan Dimas, and Rahmat Irianto was the other one who has left the pitch. Evan Dimas replaces him. Well worth a shot, taking a bit of a deflection. Supachok's effort, and it will be a corner.
He's been everywhere for Thailand. Here he is popping up in a central position. And that could have troubled the goalkeeper. I think they're not taking a bit of a deflection.
Indonesian fans trying their best here to show support for their team. Pretty even numbers in here tonight. Ball in Pala. Kept alive here by Poklana. Chanatik out across the boarding. Some ball in, but it's out of the way by Ritchie.
A brave header away. Brave header away, the second one from Alfriandra. Had to put his head on that. Anticipating the possible contact from Supachok. Their bodies in there and taking on personal responsibility to attack crosses that come in.
Interesting little switch, isn't it, to have him now at left wing back.
Well, that's right.
Fernando Devanga.
And in the first half, Thailand got quite a bit of joy down their right-hand side. Indonesia's left. Looks like it was something that they needed to address just at half-time. Decided to go with that switch.
With a Salama quick ball in. You can see what he was attempting to do. Did it. And that's solid, isn't it? From the makeshift centre-back today. Wirata up the other end. Here comes Supachok. He's steaming in. Supachok. He goes back to Jack. Counter-attack by Thailand.
Just too good. Individual quality and brilliance. Giving Thailand this goal. Supachok. Absolutely superb. They win it there. Nothing wrong with that tackle. And they go from penalty box to penalty box. Just have a look at this. 3 players up front. The first touch in there into Supachok. And then for him to carry the ball all the way forward. Turns it around, gets himself closed down by 3 Indonesian defenders. But Chanatip on hand after he played their first pass into Supachok. Joining in the attack. Changing the angle of the run. Starting from... deeper position, closer to the left-hand side, drifts in field.
Emosi banget ini. Pendek. Zoom video.
Into the middle of the penalty box. Just side foots it past. Dale, I think, seized the ball late.
He only scores in first legs, Roshan. That's 2 apiece in the semi-final first leg, and now here in the final first leg. Remember, he had a chance for a hat-trick against Vietnam. And his penalty right down the middle was very easily saved. And now a lot of work to do for the Indonesians. We were speculating, weren't we, before halftime, how they would approach the second half. Perhaps they learnt from that previous game against Vietnam, and they've come out guns blazing.
Well, first of all, excellent centre forward play by Tirasin. And yeah, again, you said you want to maintain that element of control. You know, you want to make sure that Indonesia don't get into any sort of rhythm.
Emosi gue, sebanyak ngomong lu.
Ngomong.
Have a look at the top scorer's charts here. He's gone top there, ahead of Tirasin.
Top. Oh, that's not that far away, is it? Another one that's worked the for Pokloana.
You know, the way Thailand are going at the moment, this could be over after the first leg. Just
remembering how they shut up shop in the second leg against Vietnam, having a 2-0 lead. If they wanted
were able to do that against perhaps coming into this the best side in Southeast Asia at the moment, in Vietnam. Just in complete control, Thailand.
Here is Port Impala, and without many of their regulars. So impressive. More to come from this side. Kritsada. They've also been stung, Roshan. I think you and I have talked about this throughout the tournament. They've been stung a little bit by the criticism. They had a poor World Cup campaign by their high standards.
Yeah.
Being bundled out early on, not even finishing third in that World Cup qualifying group in round 2. There was a mini Suzuki Cup in there, and the likes of Indonesia took points off them. Malaysia, Vietnam, of course. And they were stung by that one. That hurt, didn't it?
You know, there's been a bit of talk about how that spark it's just seemed to have gone out a little bit since Kete Sokziko left his post. And I'll come back to it now.
From the crowd, from this game and perhaps from the last one as well. Oh, that's a delightful ball, isn't it? That's a super shot. Here he is, Chanate. Another long range. Tirasin now peppering this goal.
Every time Super Chok gets on the ball, he's creating danger, all sorts of issues for the Indonesian defense. Lovely step over, linking up with Chanate. And you wonder, just going back to that spark coming back into the Thai national team with Mano Polkin coming in.
We'll come back to that here. Briefly, the fans got excited there. Thailand look like they're going to make a few changes now that they've probably secured this first leg. Let's see.
Again, it's another really good driving run from Kambuaya. Irfan Jaya, I mean, that's poor from him because he's looking right across the line. And he's not bothered to sort of just try and either bend his run or just drop off a little bit to try and keep himself onside. Kambuaya, I think, has been Indonesia's best player. And for Thailand, it's been Super Chok. I know the temptation will be to give the man of the match to Chanate. His 2 goals, which were really good finishes, but I think Super Chok has been that real driving force, that creative element for Thailand.
Well, it's certainly in contention, isn't he, Chanate, for MVP? To regain the crown that he lost. He didn't play, of course, in the last edition. Well, here the changes. Titipan and Supachai to come on. An opportunity for possibly Tirasin. And perhaps Pitiwat to have a little bit of a break. That will be the changes. Remember in the last leg where Tirasin was asking if he could come off, and Colton was saying, just give me a few more minutes. Suwarak has had very, very little to do in this game. So from Indonesia's point of view now, they've just got to stay in this, don't they?
Yeah.
It's almost damage limitation now. Just keep it at 2 if they can. Maybe get a goal back, but at least certainly not conceding a third.
Exactly that. I mean, we touched on this, I think, in the first half about not letting the game run away from you. There's a real danger here that it could ahead of the second leg. And this is where tactically as well, I think if you're a coach, you're thinking about these things as well. You know, you can't take too many risks and can't take too many chances, can't open up too much.
Yeah.
Because you know there's still another game to go. And look, there's still time for Indonesia to turn this around, but it's been difficult for them to really get into the game. They've had one big moment, one high quality opportunity through Alfreandra.
Yeah. And look, he has had an excellent tournament, hasn't he, Alfreandra?
That's right.
That's not his job is not to put the goals in, but of course he was still in that great position, but he has been superb for them.
And a lot of these players have been great. A lot of them have been. You know, if they do end up going on to lose this,
we'll come back to that in the second, Roshan, as we just complete the substitutions, and it is going to be Tirasin to come off. Won't add to his tournament tally. This is a change we quite often see. Supachai tried to replace him. As we speculated as well, it is Pitiwat to be replaced by Titipan. Much like-for-like changes then.
they've really managed the workloads of the players very well, Thailand. And it's easy to do that when you've got such a wonderful squad, but also having that faith in the squad to deliver. Despite the changes that you've made, players will repay.
No longer.
Snawi that earlier. Pitipan on the press and then turn away.
Another one that has impressed him. Irfan!
Gitu tinggal ditendang tuh masuk.
Called into action.
Oh shit. Why? What shit?
Gets it in space. There you go. Makes a run. Behind that Thai midfield, picks it up in space. Picks out a lovely pass through into Irfan Jaya. And the weight on that pass, I think, is excellent. It's right into the run of Irfan Jaya. He doesn't even have to sort of break his stride. He just needs to adjust his body shape. Can't get it wide enough with enough bend. And Kamawai, as I say, who's been excellent for Indonesia, is the man who's coming off.
He has been brilliant. And a big roar, though, for this man here, Egy Maulana. So much speculation as to when he would be playing in this tournament. He came on against Singapore in the second leg of that semi-final, and he'll get a bit more time here today. He's in Slovakia with Seneca. He is often regarded as the great big hope of Indonesian football, the 21-year-old. He might maybe just give the team a bit of a boost, but as also mentioned, the most creative player, the one who's really been at the heart of things, Ricky Kambawaya, has been taken off. About half an hour or so, if you include some added time here for Indonesia in this first leg to try get something out of this if they can. Elkan Baggett. Out wide to his left wing back, Afrianda Debanga.
Curang mainnya gitu.
Still going here.
He found it very difficult.
Sliding. Tuh masih itu sarung tangan.
Gak apa-apa, kartu merah.
Sarung tangan kiper itu mahal.
Yang penting cederain.
Nempel ada lemnya demi Alek. Cuma ngasih tahu doang. Ada lemnya demi, sumpah. Lem apa? Lem di sapu tangannya. Lem bener-bener lem. Bola. Jadi begitu langsung tangkap langsung nempel bolanya.
Oh, kayak magnet.
Berarti kalau dilempar susah dong.
Iya gimana? Enggak dilempar dia mental sendiri, Yon. Indonesia juga punya bagus warna hitam. Dia warna putih jelek.
Orangnya juga jelek.
Iya.
Cara main juga jelek. Lo jelek semua.
Gue maki-maki lu Thailand.
Lo jelek. Lo jelek.
Indonesia warna hitam bagus.
Tuh sepatunya juga jelek tuh.
Hijau. Ngajong banget kita.
Jelek nih.
Kayak lu naik hitam.
Oh ya, sepatu
Kayak motor
Selkan.
hijau.
Sepatu Selkan.
Berani merah.
Merah udah nih.
Dong nih ngapain? Sepatu Selkan warna putih apa warna kuning? Bagus. Lucu dia.
Iya emang bagus sih, emang punya Elkan tuh semua bagus.
Jangan beli yang mahal ya. Apa ya? Heran deh berapa puluh dia itu kalau beli itu.
Ya kan
Enggak.
dapat kan?
Yang biasa aja.
Terus
Paling murah sepatu bola kalau nggak sepatu futsal 500.000 loh. Itu paling murah banget bawahan. Itu yang ori jutaan. Ini sayang banget yang beli kalau gratis mau. Apalagi harga sepatu Elkan ya bagus begitu warna putih nih. Makan apa lagi? Berapa puluh jet itu? Ih gak mau manis-manis.
Pedas biar.
Iya pedes juga.
itu kemarin tuh enak dah.
Emosi.
Apa? Makaroni. Iya harus beli.
Langsung meler.
Makaroni apa?
Yang kemarin itu yang level 15. Enak sih kalau buat nonton ya. Sampai emosi gitu. Oh,
Lagi pedas emosi.
gimana? Di terajang kau yang tinggi. Belah dua.
Gak ada yang capek gak sih?
Setan dari ya bisa-bisana Thailand kebobolan naik 2-0.
Kebobolan.
Tonjok badannya siapa yang sadar? Ayo dong ini kenapa?
Udah kali ini kita kayaknya kalau udah ini langsung gol.
Ya
Udah sama.
tiba-tiba 2 sama.
Amin.
Al-Fatihah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim.
Ya Allah, terus
Selamatan gitu, selamatan.
selamatan. Keluarganya Arhan aja ngadain pengajian dulu loh sebelum dia bola.
Iya biar
Makanya nangis. Si Arhan masukin bola. Adanya lagi nangis
Oh
sampai kejar.
mungkin karena gak ada Arhan kali.
Iya
Kayaknya selamatan nggak bisa Arhan doang.
Arhan kemana? Comeback dong.
Iya Arhan.
Adanya si Arhan nangis. Yang
Cuma kosong.
kejar lagi nangis. Terharu lihat si Arhan masukin bola. Bapaknya nangis. Yuk siapa yang gak bangga coba lihat anaknya masuk TV. Aduh masukin bola lagi. Aduh masuk semifinal lagi. Aduh bawa nama Indonesia.
Aduh, jadi suami gua.
Aduh, siapa coba yang senang sama bapaknya ya Allah.
Iya Ya kita aja yang nonton semua.
Aing nyaho motor si Arhanan, emek.
Cek.
Nyaho aing Arhan soalnya aing dulu imah dia. Di TikTok loba imah dia disorot. Aing nyaho imah dia cat warna hijau. Nah deui dia. Aing mah nyaho kabeh.
Muka manja udah kenal.
Emak inung dia geus kenal aing. Tenang urang. Bisa berumah tangga. Tenang Arhan.
Tenang.
Nah.
Banyakin duit dulu.
Tenang.
Biar mapan.
Iya. Biar kita bisa foya-foya.
Iya.
Foya. Habis dia nanya ini buat foya kita.
Apa demi sang istri. Main bola gede-began ge, demi sang istri mah. Ala pisah kebon deh. Aduh sarange. Cinca nunggu sarange. Kalian masih pada komen, lu pada diem aja ya. Capek-capek ngetik komen.
Ini gak ada kerjaan banget.
Iya. Ini nonton aja lo. Ah, gila-gila ngoreksi hidup lu.
Siap isi semangatmu dengan Indomie goreng.
Ini brand ambassadornya Oppo lagi ya. Keren, berarti Oppo banyak duitnya ya.
Iya, Oppo kemarin aja si Arhan megang. Oppo.
Berarti Oppo kencang itu duitnya. Suzuki juga nih. Terus Suzuki udah di brand ambassadorin bola, terus pindah lagi ke ini Motor Rossi.
Ya,
Iya,
dia mah
gede.
ambasadornya begitu.
Banyak duitnya berarti. Gila lu. Siapa pemegang duitnya? Ayo, gas. Yang punya perusahaan siapa?
Bapak dong.
Kamu bang.
Bapak Tohir.
CEO Erik Sairi.